Welcome to another laruan ni Obi-Wan action figure videos. This time we're going to take a look at Marvel Legends Daredevil Born Again Punisher action figure, which you could find right now at your local Targets. Except for the Daredevil figure. We're still hunting for the Daredevil figure. So possibly tonight or tomorrow morning when we have time, we're going to toy hunt for that figure. Okay, so there you go, the UPC code for those of you who are interested at finding this figure at store, but not this figure, the disassembled version. Okay, so yeah, of course, this is my sickness. Once I really like an action figure, I find ways to really improve it. Okay, so I am not the type who just reviews and then keeps it back in box, or does not play with it or take it apart. I am the one who really, yeah. Okay, so improvements on the action figure. Articulation points, primarily when you take this figure out of the box, the head unit and the neck unit, that's the smoothest articulating point on the action figure. But with the arms, the torso, and the legs, and with how the pouches are attached to the body or the waistline of the figure, somehow that impedes articulation. So I have to take it apart and examine how this thing works, okay, to understand how I'm going to improve it. Okay, so we start with the legs. Okay, so we improved this portion, or we took off material. There we go. So we deepened the cuts. So for leg side races this way, because the articulation point that is lacking, because this is too locked up, the plastic is up to this point, so it would only lift a certain height sideways. But I already tried this before starting the video, so I know that it works already. This improvement works. So I just had to take the figure apart once again to film this, to show you guys where the improvement sections are going to be. Okay, so different X-Acto blades are needed for this process. Of course, if you're going to deal with a fresh figure, it has to be a fresh blade. So the cuts are really nice and precise. Okay, so on this section too, very limited articulation on the waistline, not much on the bend backwards and forwards. The sideways are decent, but yeah, we already took material off this section too. There you go. Okay, so you guys see those rough marks. Actually, it's not going to be this canal, not the opening that you're going to widen. It's going to be the inner section. Okay, where the ball is nearest. Okay, it's not going to be on this section. It's going to be deep down there near the ball joint. Okay, so that's the reason why the last X-Acto blade that you find on this knife is going to be this rounded version, because I had to go in there to do this to improve this articulation point. Okay, yeah, well, just micro improvements on the opening, but not much. It has to be down there. Okay, so we already covered this, we already covered that, and we took out the magazine pouches because we're going to relocate them. We're going to place them on 1 and 2, and the pistol holster. Where is the pistol holster? Okay, so the pouches are going to ride on this part of the vest. Okay, so higher. So when we rotate the waistline, it's not going to crimp this magazine holder or the magazines. Okay, there you go. Excuse me. So the holster, we're going to move it up on the vest too, because riding low here, it makes the pant a little bit short. Not a tactical pants, but a low rider. So yeah, it really looks odd. Okay, so we're moving up the pouches and the holster on the vest instead of the pistol belt. Okay, but that's the reason why I said a fresh X-Acto blade is not needed, so the cuts on the pouches, on the belt and the holster is going to be very, very clean and unnoticeable. Okay, now as you could see, there's white paint over here, so it's going to be a full skull when we join these two pieces together instead of having a half skull. Okay, so there you go. So yes, still goes with the Punisher theme, the Netflix or the Disney Plus Punisher theme, wherein one side is faded, one side is painted. Yeah, so I chose this because it's my version, not anybody else. But you could copy this thing. Okay, you're free to copy because I'm sharing this on the channel. Okay, here you go. So yeah, so that's a full skull right now. Okay, so let's pop the head in. Okay, there you go. Now that looks good. Okay, once assembled, so we have enough articulation points on this section. We also freed up this section of pouches, so we're free to move that around. And once we have the magazine pouches up here, when we move this around, it's going to free this section up the waistline. Okay, now with regards to the arms, we also improved the articulation on the arm set. Okay, so that is how this figure looks like when you disassemble it. For the arm section, no heat is needed, just like a McFarlane DC Multiverse action figure. Just use and pop it off. Okay, there you go. So you have the sleeve. The sleeve goes in there, and in goes the arm socket. Okay, now the area of improvement is going to be, okay, let's pop this ring out first. It's going to be that opening. You have to take off material on the opening. Yep, take your X-Acto knife. It could be this blade or just this triangular blade, as long as you take care of material this way, widening the opening so the arm, okay, there you go, so the arm is going to freely move because it has a very small opening because of the plastic material, and you can't do a really proper pistol grip or shooting stance. Okay, so let's pop these parts in. Okay, one. Oops, did I pop it in right? Okay, and yeah, I also made a little bit more of cuts here on this section, doing this. So for shooting stances like this, so that section is going to be a little more deeper. So same thing with the right part or the right arm. Okay, so we're going to pop that in. Take note of that. So yeah, we have more clearance to really make both arms. Okay, here you go. So let's pop that in. To have both arms, take a look at that. It's now a working ball joint. Unlike before, when we took this figure out of packaging, it would only do this and T-poses, and yeah, not much of this. Okay, so for proper pistol stance, pistol gripping stance, that's going to work. Okay, so let's just pop that back in. Okay, here you go. Okay, support hand, pistol gripping hand. Okay, so as you could see, you could move that closer to center line right now. Okay, so we're ready to assemble this action figure. Pop all of the pieces back in and glue the sections that I cut off. Yeah, and we're going to do a final spin of this action figure. Okay, so we have the Punisher figure fully assembled. Okay, so this is the 360 view of the figure. There you go. Okay, two-face variant. One side is going to be nice and clear while the other side is faded. Okay, so full effect. Now let's check out articulation. Of course, the head unit is going to be really nicely articulated right out of the box. That is the base articulation points. But once you go towards this section, that section, this section, yeah, suffers. With regards to the joints, they're nicely locked in, so you need to subject this action figure, the joints on the elbows and on the knee, to about 30 seconds of hair dryer time, and move specifically that area back and forth to loosen the nawa. Also, this section, the lower section of the elbow bend, that's going to be locked in. Right now it's operating smoothly, okay, because we already exercised that joint. Okay, so how does that joint look like, and how does this joint look like? Okay, so for your reference point, we have the original axe. We just place a whatever junk that we have on board, so we made into a axe holder of some sort. Okay, So that just squeezes in that way and is held in place by the handle of the K-bar knife. Okay. There you go. Okay, so let's check out articulation points. So let's move that to the side first. Okay, placement of pouches. So the section, knife is scout carry, not on the belt line but on the vest. The holster is also connected on the vest, and we're using a Action Force Valoverse pistol because the one that came with this action figure is just way too small and way too soft. Yeah. Okay, so we're using an Action Force Valoverse pistol, but we still have a backup, so I'm just waiting for this to dry up because we painted it with a chrome pen. Okay, so just waiting for this one to dry up so we could make a shorts video out of this action figure. Okay, now let's check out articulation points. So for the arm, there you go, it's no longer locked in, especially for a pistol holding stance. Okay, now let's check out this section of the diaphragm joint, the articulation. Okay, so now we have a lot of forward bends, backward bends, sideways, and as you could see, the magazines are not hindering any point of articulation, and on the waistline it is free to move back and forth, around. Okay, these two, there you go. So time for an action pose. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.